go home at night completely and utterly exhausted, but you can't quite put your finger on why. You are working harder than ever, but the business feels like it is going sideways. You are the one with the vision, but somehow you end up feeling small or corrected in front of your own team. You look at the bank accounts and things just don't add up. You keep telling yourself it is just the stress of running a business. But what if it is not the business? What if it is the person sitting in the office next to you? If any of this sounds familiar, you need to watch this video. We're not going to talk about business strategy. We're going to talk about survival strategy. By the end of this, you will not only understand exactly what is happening to you, but you will have a clear path to taking your business and your life back. What is business love bombing by a narcissist partner? The perfect partner who feels too good to be true. Did you ever think you'd finally found them? The perfect business partner, the one who just gets it. It starts like a whirlwind, doesn't it? They share your drive. They echo your dreams. They work as hard as you, maybe even harder. They tell you you're a genius. They tell everyone else you're a genius. This isn't just a partnership. It feels like you found your other half. They're the missing piece of the puzzle you've been looking for. But this perfect picture is a lie. A carefully built trap. They aren't your teammate. They're a predator learning your weaknesses. They aren't building a dream with you. They are building a prison for you and getting you to hand them the bricks and mortar yourself. Remember those early days? You were drowning in work and they jumped in, pulling an all-nighter right beside you. You probably looked at them, full of gratitude, and said,
"I can't thank you enough. I couldn't have done this without you."
And that fake saint looked you right in the eye and said,
"Don't be silly. We're in this together. Your win is my win. Always."
And you believed them. Why wouldn't you? That night, you probably went home and told your partner,
"I think this is it. I've finally found someone who cares about this as much as I do."
But that feeling of relief, that feeling of finally, that's the anesthetic they use before they start cutting. It's a setup. It's always a setup. Because that perfect start never lasts. Soon, the praise starts to have an edge. So now, let's talk about what happens when that mask starts to slip and the chipping away begins. Why do narcissist partners belittle you in business? The constant game of making you feel small. Does it feel like you're walking on eggshells in your own company? Like you are always one step away from saying or doing the wrong thing? The change is so small at first. You tell yourself you're imagining it. It's the little comment they make after you've left a meeting. It's the way they re-explain your own idea back to you, but slightly better. It is the joke about a mistake you made, told in front of everyone. It is not a big explosion. It is a slow leak, a constant, dripping tap of criticism that wears you down, drop by drop by drop. They are no longer your partner. They are someone working against you from the inside. This isn't a team. It is a one-man show, and you are just part of the background scenery. They chip away at you. They chip away at your confidence. They chip away at your authority. Think about that time you and your partner were celebrating landing a big new client. You were buzzing. You turned to them and said,
"We did it. I can't believe we pulled it off."
And they just smiled a little, a knowing smile, and said,
"Yeah, it's great. I had to pull a few strings behind the scenes to get them over the line, but yeah, good result."
Suddenly, it is not our win anymore. It's their win. Later, you might try to talk to them about a decision, something you both need to agree on.
"I think we should do X."
They reply,
"No, that's not the way. We're doing Y. I've already decided. It's better."
"It is not a discussion. It is a decree." They stop being your partner and start acting like your boss. They're not building with you anymore. They're just shaking the ladder while you are trying to climb. This constant belittling is designed to make you question yourself. And right now, we're going to explore how they take this a step further. deliberately twisting reality to make you feel like you're going crazy. 3. How narcissist partners make you feel crazy. Gaslighting, the mind game that makes you doubt reality. Have you started to feel like you are losing your grip? Do you find yourself questioning your own memory? Thinking, did I really say that? Did that actually happen? Welcome to their favorite game, the one where they rewrite history. A conversation, you had, nope, never happened. A promise they made. I would never have said that. Their mistake. No, that was your fault. Don't you remember? They are an editor with a big red pen. And your reality is the story they are constantly cutting and changing to make themselves look good. They are not your partner. They are a saboteur of your sanity. They need you to feel confused. They need you to doubt yourself. Because when you're lost in the fog, you are easier to lead. You remember that argument over money, right? You knew for a fact they agreed to a specific budget. You said,
But we agreed. We shook on it. We said no more than 10,000.
and that gaslight guru looked at you with a straight face, no flicker of doubt, and said,
We didn't. You are remembering it wrong. You always do this when you are stressed. We said we'd spend what was necessary.
You are left standing there, your own memory screaming at you, but their certainty is so absolute. You start to wonder, did I get it wrong? Am I going crazy? Then comes the masterstroke. Later that day, they'll come to you, all concern and kindness.
Hey, are you all right? You seem really forgetful lately. I am starting to get a bit worried about you.
And that is how they do it. They don't just deny your reality. They use their lie to frame themselves as the one who cares and you as the one who is falling apart. Once they've messed with your head, their next target is almost always your wallet. So now, let's dive into how they weaponize your shared finances to gain total control. How narcissist partners use financial abuse in business when the shared pot becomes their private stash. Are you working all the hours God sends, but the numbers just don't add up? Does it feel like you are pouring everything into a bucket with a hole in it? This is where the mask really comes off. Think of your business account as a shared pot of money. You both put in, you both take out what you need for the business. But suddenly, you realize you are the only one putting in. They are just taking out for expenses that have no receipts, for business trips that sound a lot like holidays, for investments they can never quite explain. They are not your partner. They are a thief with a key to the safe. They treat your shared money like their own personal piggy bank. And when you dare to ask about it, they make you feel small for even questioning them. You must have had that moment. Your stomach drops when you see a big, unexplained transaction. You try to be casual. You go to them and say,
Hey, sorry to bother you, but just looking at the accounts, what was this big payment for?
and that control freak just looks at you like you've asked a stupid question.
That business. Don't worry about it. I handled it.
The conversation is over before it began, but then it gets worse. A few weeks later, they come to you with a serious face.
Look, cash flow is a bit tight. I had to make a quick decision to pay this supplier up front to get a discount. It was a power move.
You reply,
But that has left us short for payroll.
and they say,
Don't panic. I've got it covered. That is what I am here for, to make the tough calls.
they create the fire, then demand praise for putting it out. They don't just take your money. They take your security, and they try to take your right to even ask where it is gone. Now, things get even more complicated when you are not just business partners, but also family. Let's talk about the unique nightmare of being in business with a narcissistic family member right now. Why is a narcissistic family business a toxic prison when you can't escape them at home or at work? You think a normal narcissistic partner is bad? Try being in business with your brother, your sister, your parent. There is no escape. The office politics follow you to Sunday lunch. The family drama infects every business decision. It is a toxic soup you are forced to swim in 24/7. In a family business, they don't just see you as a partner. They see you as the little kid they always pushed around in the playground. Your ideas are never just ideas. They're a challenge to their authority as the smarter or older one. The business isn't a shared venture. It is their kingdom. And you are just a court jester. Think about that family meeting, which was supposed to be a strategy session. You present a new, well-researched plan to grow the business. But your narcissistic father just scoffs and says to everyone at the table,
"That is a nice thought, son, but a bit naive. Let's stick to what I know works. I built this company from nothing. Remember?"
Your ideas are dismissed not on merit, but because of who you are in the family pecking order. Later, you try to talk to your sibling partner about it.
"We have to innovate or we'll be left behind. Dad's stuck in the past."
And they reply, siding with the power player.
"Just let it go. You know what he is like. Don't rock the boat. It is not worth the argument."
You are trapped. You are trapped by money, by loyalty, by the guilt of breaking up the family. They use the promise of inheritance like a carrot on a stick, keeping you running on their treadmill, forever hoping for a reward that will never come. But what if the lines are blurred even further? Let's move on and talk about the ultimate trap, when your business partner is also your life partner. When your narcissistic partner is your life partner, the double betrayal of home and work. This is the deepest level of hell, when the person undermining you at the office is the same one you go home to at night. There is no safe space. Your boardroom is your living room. Your performance review happens over dinner. The betrayal is total. It's a 360-degree assault on your life. They use your personal vulnerabilities as ammunition in business arguments. They use business failures to prove you are a failure as a person. The lines are not just blurred, they are completely erased. Remember that terrible week at work? A big project failed, and you felt awful. You came home looking for comfort and said,
"I feel like such an idiot. I really messed that up."
Instead of a hug, your life and business partner looks at you with disappointment and says,
"Well, I did tell you that you were being too emotional about it. This is what happens when you don't listen to me. Now this mess affects our home, our future."
Your personal moment of vulnerability becomes proof of their professional superiority. The next day, you might have an argument at home about something trivial, like chores.
You promised you'd take care of that.
They fire back.
"Maybe if you were pulling your weight more at the company, I wouldn't be so exhausted that I have to do everything, both here and there."
Everything is connected. Everything is a weapon. Your home is no longer a sanctuary. It is just another battlefield. They hold your shared dreams hostage, both personal and professional, making it feel impossible to leave one without destroying the other. They have you surrounded, and now we're going to talk about how they cement this control by turning everyone else against you. How narcissists turn your team against you. Smear campaign, the lonely war of being a bad guy in your own business. Do you ever walk into a room and the conversation just stops? Do you feel like you are getting the cold shoulder from your own staff, but you have no idea why? This is the most painful part. This is where they turn your own people against you. They do it behind your back. It's the quiet word in the kitchen. It's the sympathetic chat after hours. They plant seeds of doubt. They tell people you are struggling. They say they are worried about you. They twist your passion into aggression. They twist your stress into instability. They are not your partner. They are a secret propagandist, spreading lies about you in your own camp. They are isolating you, one person at a time, until you have no one left to turn to. The moment that breaks your heart is when you hear their lie from someone you trusted. You pull aside an employee Someone you've always had a good relationship with. You ask.
Is everything okay? You seem a bit distant.
And they can't look you in the eye. They just shuffle their feet and mumble.
It is just, your partner mentioned you've been under a lot of pressure and that you are a bit on edge. They just told us to give you some space.
You feel like you've been punched in the gut. Later, you confront the narcissist.
Why are you telling people I am on edge?
And they look at you, feigning shock and hurt.
What? I would never! I was defending you! I told them you were under a lot of pressure and that we needed to support you. God, you twist everything! This is exactly what I am talking about.
And there you are, trapped. You are not just fighting them anymore. You are fighting the false, crazy version of you that they have created. You are completely and utterly alone. So what can you do? How do you get out? Let's talk about the escape plan now. Not a theory, but a practical guide to reclaiming your life. How to leave a narcissist business partner for good. Why walking away is the only way to win. Is the idea of leaving the arguments, the legal mess, the drama, so terrifying that it feels easier to just put up with the daily misery? That fear is the last chain holding you in place. But you need to hear this. Leaving is not a negotiation. It is not a conversation. It is an escape. You don't try to reason with a house fire. You don't try to explain your point of view to it. You just get out. You get out before the whole thing collapses on top of you. This isn't a breakup. This is an extraction. A clean cut. You stop talking to them and you start talking to a lawyer. You stop hoping they will change and you start gathering evidence. Every email, every text, every lie, you make a plan, a quiet plan. You don't warn them. You don't give them a final chance. You just act. They will feel the change. They'll sense you pulling away, and they'll try to drag you back in one last time. They'll corner you, their voice full of that old fake sincerity you once fell for.
What is going on? Don't be like this. We're a team. We can sort this out. Don't throw all this away.
But this time you see it for what it is. A performance. A last-ditch effort to keep their victim. And you have a choice. You can get drawn back into the drama, or you can hold your ground. You don't need to say a word. Your silence is your power. Your solicitor's letter is your voice. The war will start, yes, but it is better to fight a war for your freedom than to live as a prisoner in a fake peace. You are not failing. You are escaping. You are not giving up. You are taking your life back. And I promise you, the peace you will find on the other side is worth every single second of the fight.